Okay, also we start in about a minute. Um, Great to be here. Excited to be here. Uh, I hope we have AI in the room, to also have fun and chat with us along the way. Have some fun. Right. We want to welcome everyone. We know you had a very busy day, but thank you for taking our time really to have this very wonderful discussion with us. It's a very beautiful time here again in Symphony Solutions. She community, of course, is very excited. We're very excited to welcome you to our online event here in Symphony. The She Talks event series is where we invite inspirational women, sometimes men, as the case is today, to share their stories of success and recognition in different fields, discuss what women in the world of IT, innovation, entrepreneurship have done and continue to do very well. I mean, the list goes on. Today, we'll be touching on a very interesting, exciting topic. There's been a talk of the town ever since the launch of ChatGPT, for instance. And what you all have been wondering is, hey, how is ChatGPT, how is AI going to change the very way I work? I mean, the very way I live. So why not we go with this topic, women in the future of work, embracing AI to growth and adaptation. I'll take that again, women and the future of work, embracing AI to growth and adaptation. Now, we all know that AI, of course, is here to stay. And what we can do is to discover how best to use AI, to further our goals as a company, as families, in our environment, etc. I'm sure that many of you, again, have started conquering to like ChatGPT at the very least, right? But there's so much to AI than that. Now, questions like how is AI changing the landscape of the job market, right? What skills and competencies do we need to stay competitive in an AI world? Again, maybe how can AI enhance diversity and inclusion in the workplace? Imagine, a lot of questions around the use of AI. And all of this and more is what we'll be discussing today with our panel of beautiful and handsome experts. Please welcome me. Join me in welcoming the following people. Yulia, Nosal, she's the Chief People Officer here at Symphony Solutions. She's from Ukraine. Oleg, Chekan is the Technical Director here at Symphony Solutions. He's from Poland. And Tania, or full name Tania Soroka, is the Director of Virtual Communities here at Symphony, and she is from Ukraine. We are ready to start. Remember, guys, if there's a live chat popping up on your screen, you can always put in your questions. So we make this session very interactive and engaging. Some of the questions, when we have time for it, will be taken care of during the Q&A session. Now, let's begin with our discussion on exploring the impact of AI on the future of work. And I will prefer that all my panelists take this question one after the other, beginning with Tatiana. How is AI currently transforming the workplace, and what potential do you see for further advancements in the future? Tania.
Thank you, Raymond. And first of all, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to have the discussion with these beautiful people, Oleg and Yulia. And thank you, Raymond, again for a nice introduction. You're always good at it, always. So if I get it back to business and talking about AI, how it's transforming our workplace and transforming business right now, I think for me, it would be kind of difficult right now to share some thoughts about how it's actually transforming the organization as itself. But I can share my personal experience, and I would like to tell how AI is actually transforming myself and my workplace and my productivity actually, because I would be honest, I've been using AI tools for quite not a long time, 3-4 months, I believe, as the majority of us does, yeah. But now they are my best friends, I would say. I can't imagine my life right now without AI tool. I use ChatGPT on a daily basis. I ask questions. I brainstorm with it. I do some researches, work with information, etc. And I feel so much energy right now because my work is actually connected a lot with people, with creating some events, with creating some programs, etc. And I found so much interesting information, so much interesting thoughts, ideas that I can take and implement, or even if I need to execute it, I can find, like guidance how to do it, and then just talk with my team and say, hey, what do you think about this? So in this case, of course, the productivity is really, really high, and I feel I like it, and I'm a little bit scared to think what else actually AI can bring to me in the next quarter. And a lot of this tool that help me with content creation, video creation, and presentation, this is amazing. This is actually really cool. I know that for some developers, the tool that we have right now on the market and they're available, it's also really valuable for them. I would tell the words of one of our symphonians, and he told me that now he can't imagine his life without using these tools that help him with development. So I'm sure that this feeling of increasing productivity and having more energy, a lot of people feel right now. And if you're talking about what else it can bring, I would say that I'm interested to see what would be in learning development in knowledge sharing sessions, because I'm sure with these things, AI with gathering information, providing this information, working with this data, there would be a lot of interesting things that will help us to do really personalized trainings and etc. And I think that the next steps is to have this virtual reality. They're real, as Apple showed us, but to have it more to everyone, they're available for everyone. And the level of learning development would be really high and really cool. And it also will help the organization to work with performance management, well-being, engagement, all the things that are really important for run successful organization. So that's how I say it now.
Thank you so much, Tania. A lot of interest coming from Tania there. Oleg, do you feel the same way? Are you as excited using AI? What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting topic because AI itself is not new, and I've been working with machine learning and AI projects for last 10 years, which is kind of to some extent many things not new. But what's new is generative AI part, which made it to the masses its way, and it brings possibility to use this AI tools for anyone, right? And it's kind of democratizing it. Before, most of these tools were available only for engineers or data scientists and people like that, which were able to implement some interesting project in long periods of time, like 6 months and so on. Now, everyone can implement their own short ideas, small ideas themselves using just simple chat interface and see get some benefits of it real time, right? So that's making it available for people, and emergence of the tools like ChatGPT or Midjourney using Discord and so on. It's all easily accessible. Makes people much more creative in terms of thinking, okay, how can I use it? And they find tons of new ways of using it. Actually, authors didn't expect to, and they are learning together with all this audience how to apply it. And same goes about applying it into your regular day-to-day work. I think what's important, with COVID have changed a lot our style of being more remote, more work from home, more asynchronous, and now it created some emptiness, and now generative AI is sort of start to filling this emptiness as well with appearance of this kind of coach solutions, or you can chat to ChatGPT and work with it in pair on some topic, and kind of it gives you ability to work more asynchronously, more independent. It's like acting like a duck, right? You can speak to duck, but now this duck can reply uh, to you, and bringing this interactivity and kind of real-time feedback on things you do. Okay, I have this idea, and immediately you got the result back. That's kind of most important. That's what makes you kind of brings you more satisfaction at your work. You feel you're more productive, you can achieve more, and you're less distracted by kind of trying to find somebody else time, trying to organize a meeting, to get feedback and so on. Now it's kind of, with help of these tools, you can achieve most of the things faster.
Absolutely, absolutely, Oleg. Couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely. Yulia, you want to jump in? Your own experience with AI?
And of course, this is an ungrateful role, to come third in this discussion. But it's also my privilege. Yeah. So basically, to summarize what Tania has said, so she mentioned quite a few processes that we can touch with AI and improve on the go. Same as Oleg has touched some technical things. I think the proper summary for me personally, and today I'm expressing my very subjective views on this. So there are three categories of AI users. So first category, those would be those people who create it, who write it. Second category would be those who constantly search, explore, and try to implement it in their business domain. And I would proudly put myself in the second category, yes, because it's been a big rush over the couple of last months to understand what's new happening on the market. How can we apply? How can we measure efficiency? How can we bring this efficiency to the workplace? And of course, there is the third category of those who still resisted. Yeah, so I'm sure those who are attending this webinar today, they belong to either the first or the second category. And speaking of AI, to me, this is a tool that should bring the benefits, but then we all have to be responsible in how we implement it. And to be responsible, we need to know all the things around AI, all the challenges together with the opportunities it brings. And we also need to know the boundaries as to which we can feed the data there and how can we rely. So basically, that's what I call responsible. And from the super personal experience, I am being cautious now. Yes, I'm happily introducing some of the things to my kids. For example, when they have to come up with a presentation for oh, Mom, can you help me write the presentation about my Lego inventions? And of course, yes. So can you please? Yes, I am a 10-year-old kid. So I'm also acting as a prompt engineer in a way, yes. And then about after the second presentation of this kind, I understood all the threats that I may personally inflict on my kids, yes. If they get to understand the technology, how about reading the books? How about getting critical thinking, analytical thinking, yes? And how about becoming sort of domain expert, not relying on just the information that is fed to you? So basically today, I guess we will consider all of these things at some level of depth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yulia. Interesting perspective for all three. And the next question is, a bit domain specific because we have the director of virtual communities here. We have the technical director here at Symphony. We also have the chief people officer here at Symphony. So we're going to be answering the next question from your own domain and from your experience working as heads, as managers, as leaders of your departments, ensuring exactly what AI examples to follow. And this question is very a bit tricky. Now, how has AI been specifically applied within Symphony Solutions, right, to drive growth, efficiency, or innovation? Or maybe what measurable impact is it likely to have on the organization as a whole? I'll start with Oleg here.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Raymond. And okay. So from technical perspective or from our projects and so on, currently Symphony is rolling out important initiatives to implement the AI tools into day-to-day life of our employees. And I'm talking about biggest parts of our audience is actually developers, QA, and those who day-to-day create new code. And in Poland, it's treated as a creative job. I guess must be treated everywhere as a creative job, similar to artists or or musicians. That's why we write code like music. And with all the advances in the content generation, the creative generation, at the same time, all this advances was always going with code generation as well. I think it's every big company dreams that one day a code will be generated completely based on requirements, but unfortunately we are not quite there yet, but we are getting closer to such things. So what it means to us, it means actually we need to start using these tools to make our work more productive, to complete tasks faster, and that will help Symphony again as a company to differentiate among other vendors that okay, our developers are capable to use AI tools and they can deliver more business value, and that's what make us different on the market. And many other companies will be doing same. So many companies already investing like crazy, but some of them are lagging behind, looking what others will do. So it's better to join. Like it's better to kind of to head it and actually start implementing those tools. What we are doing right now, we are preparing a rollout of GitHub Copilot as a kind of first tool, which we'll be widely using. So a couple of teams will be starting to implementing into their day-to-day life quite shortly, and we will be carefully assessing like how it will be impacting us. But first of all, we will be like focusing on how happy our team, if they're getting happier by using these tools, if they're getting more productive, if they're kind of keeping the flow, enjoying and getting more satisfaction from their work delivered, and assessing it in this way, because kind of measuring productivity is a kind of tricky question, and it's not always working like we expect. So we will be focusing more on the subjective part of it, getting emotional part, and it's on in Symphony culture as well. So we need to enjoy working, and if these tools will increase our satisfaction, that's already a good achievement. And if clients will be getting more value, that's win-win situation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Oleg. That was, aptly said. Yulia is the Chief People Officer here at Solutions. He directs, he's the Director of People Operations from a day-to-day basis. So again, Yulia, it's a very interesting question to me, especially because most people think, hey, AI has come to take over our jobs, etc. And you're at the center of people management, people satisfaction, people happiness, etc. What does AI mean to you as CPO on a day-to-day basis in Symphony?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful for being in an environment where this trend is supported. Yes, at the top level, driven by Theo. Yes, and we've been probably one of the first, super early adopters of this trend. And to reflect it in more practical steps, we were given the task as a leadership team to explore what tools we can bring on board Symphony and what would be the best use, yes, what efficiency it will bring and how we can measure this. And we are reporting on this, yes, we are sharing our knowledge every week. And I find these discussions absolutely fascinating, because with the first presentation, when we were listening to it, it was like, yeah, but is it possible in the first place? Yeah, and when we got down to presentation number 7 or 8, it was, yeah, heard that, done that, tried that, tested, know the result, and this one might be interesting. So really, it's a fascinating time for all of us here. And we also try to work across different levels. That is to say, so it's not just exploring and having this data somewhere on SharePoint, but it's more about how can we bring value to our customers with the new services, with the new expertise that we are trying to build very quickly, how we can optimize our delivery process, how can we bring efficiency to our support teams. Yes, and the impact that we've had, it was certainly reflected in a couple of things. And first of all, in our value, that of innovation, yes, and we kind of take all the behavioral markers there, yes, with being in the trend, catching up, exploring, investing into this. And I think, Oleg, you may probably confirm, so most of the customers would be amazed at how quickly we adopt it, and maybe not even all of the customers would be even able to catch up with the speed that we are trying to move in that direction. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, that sort of feedback I'm already getting from the clients. They are interested. They're looking forward to our research, to our experience, because they don't have time for it. and they are looking for someone with real practical experience to demonstrate to them, to share feedback, and to help to implement as well.
Yeah, true. And it's bringing, of course, some financial benefits. Yes. So one of the recent benefits, of course, if we speak on the micro level, that was the AI challenge announced by CEO. And of course, we got more and more, ambassadors of this super hot trend here at Symphony. And this is going on. So this challenge is still there. But of course, the bigger aim is to get this as part of our service, as part of our regular expertise. And I guess the impact that we still have to learn to measure, like Tania was mentioning, she gets more energy, yes, from, exploring these things. And I feel that by introducing AI to certain roles, functions, we can take away this fatigue that people sometimes have from routine, mundane tasks that can be delegated to our partner, that is AI.
Thank you so much, Yulia. Thank you so much, Oleg. Speaking of with Tania, you are the director of virtual communities here in Symphony. Yulia made a very interesting point. The AI challenge was indeed a winner with all of us here in Symphony. You want to share your thoughts on that as the driver of such initiatives, and then of course again how it affected general impact or maybe even happiness or collaboration within communities from your own experience.
Yeah, I would say, as Yulia mentioned, here in Symphony, we are trying to be on top, and take all these new trends and to start to work with them. The same we apply to the whole company working with AI, and this is a great opportunity from driving, actually from theory, that everybody is available to try it, to research and to see what actually impact they can feel. Do they feel more energy as I am, or do they find some other benefits? And this is the second month, I believe, of our challenge, and in our community, one can find quite a lot of interesting resources and thoughts regarding this. And if we're talking about other communities, almost in every community, we're trying to have some event but connected with AI. We have some interesting events in the QA community. It was a roundtable with ChatGPT. There were some discussion regarding some questions from the community, and we were asking ChatGPT, what do you think about this? Do you have any other alternatives, or maybe we can learn from you or you from us? So that was fun, and it was quite interesting. Which was more interesting that the host of this event was one of our QAs who tried ChatGPT first time at this event. He was a little bit, as Yulia mentioned, resistant, but after he was completely shocked with this. He was like, wow, what are the answers? What are the answers? So yeah, we, in terms of Symphony, in different directions, we're trying to implement it and give people opportunity to feel it, on their experience, how it is, and what they can bring from it.
Thank you so much, Tania. It's a very collaborative atmosphere with the use of AI in Symphony, just like we've heard. Which brings me to my next question. In collaboration and continuous practice, what are the main opportunities and challenges from our own perspective do we see integrating AI into various industries and maybe job roles? So I speak specifically to Yulia as Chief People Officer. What opportunities do you see? What challenges do you see incorporating AI into job role around your space or your domain?
Yeah, thank you, Raymond. Well, first of all, yes, again, from my personal experience, the rest we can all search with ChatGPT. Yes, but from personal experience, I perceive AI tools as a big help, as an instrument that is, of course, trained on the algorithms, etc. Yes, to produce the inputs for us in a crystallized manner. Yep, and then in this way, we spare ourselves of the stress of going through thousands of pages on Google, etc. So it kind of gives you the gist of what you need to know. It gives the structure, it gives the time efficiency. Yes, I'm thinking that this being a perfect, ideal tool, almost, it can certainly bring certain risks. Yes, to us, and this could be that like any other model. Yes, it doesn't. Well, it is basically trained on the data that it can scrape, or whatever is the right word. Yes, from the sources available, And this can also create one big thing that I'm personally concerned in HR, that is that of bias. So basically, you've probably heard about the most prominent cases. In Amazon recruitment platform, for example, they had a bias towards, for this event, that's a good one, towards women, yes, because the model was trained in a way that all the STEM roles, like science, technology, engineering, math, previously they've had like male profiles, yes, and it was trained on this, and it consequently gave lower scores on the recruitment process. Same as in US, there was a bias towards like a racial bias, yes, towards people of other skin color, and they were given better, like worse healthcare options and more expensive services. Same as like banks were, well, unknowingly misusing it, not to give mortgage to certain groups of like ethnic groups. So we have to be really, really careful. And while using it as a helper, as a tool to watch for all of these things, yes, to mention like hallucinations, to mention the beloved GDPR, data leakage. And also in this regard, I would also want us to remember about the case of this guy, I need to look like Jeffrey Hinton. So that's the former Google top management person. He resigned. And he was the pioneer of AI, and they say that without him, tools like ChatGPT, Bard, Midjourney wouldn't be possible in the first place. And he resigned because of the ethical reasons. He said that we need to install control over how we use data. And he said that he couldn't, like handled it anymore. So this is one bright example of the like pros and cons that the tools bring to us. And of course, my biggest concern is I'm coming back to the future generations. Yes. So how do we bring up kids? Yes. Although it's a big tool, but how heavily they will rely on it. Yes. And how can we nurture other competencies, other skills with them? Yes, so they will have digital literacy for sure. Yes, but how about critical thinking? Yes, gaining knowledge. Yes, gaining their expertise. So that would be my big challenge and concern in this regard.
Thank you so much, Yulia. Thank you so much for those very, very insightful comments. Well noted in our use of AI. We should also be careful as per the use cases that you mentioned. Sometimes AI isn't all bright and exciting. Thank you so much, Yulia. Do you have any points to collaborate with or on, Oleg, in terms of what Yulia said from your own experience as technical director?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's totally. I totally agree with Yulia on many points, and indeed, bias is like one of the most important ones. Or, like, I got some real feedback. Someone told me, yeah, I think it was one of our clients, how confidently ChatGPT can be wrong. That's one of the key challenges actually OpenAI is working on right now to kind of reduce this issue, but it would take a while, and that's one is tough to work on. And that's also in line with understanding the limitations of the tools or boundaries, right? So you always have to revise what's been generated and make sure you understand it and it's in line with your expectations. If you see something which is, well, I don't know if it's right or not, well, perhaps it's not. And even more, you can always iterate with those tools and improve their results, like pointing out what was wrong, putting your feedback ratings and so on, which will help them to improve over time. Another challenge, which I see like from practical implementations, there are like boom of new tools being released to public, but lots of them are not quite ready, or their quality is not quite meeting expectations because of lots of hype. You have to be really careful about what you're selecting. That reminds me, tons of scam projects on blockchain and cryptocurrency and so on. So it's kind of all these people now shifted to AI, and creating all this kind of pseudo projects which might not be trusted and can be used to steal data, and info security is also important here. Another aspect, not all tools are kind of ready for scale. There is huge demand which to access those tools, so they have to use wait lists. Sometimes you have to wait for weeks or months to get access to something. Personally, I was subscribed to like, I don't know, 5, and I think I got only 1 so far from waitlist, and it took a month already, and kind of you have to be ready for scaling issues. And actually, it's not only scaling because of the it's also because of infrastructure. Like, you know, NVIDIA now investing heavily into building the chips more powerful, faster, more, and so on. Lots of companies investing millions of dollars just to build infrastructure. Like recent startup raised, like on a very early stage, they raised $200 million just because of amount of compute required just to create MVP. So that's definitely a challenge. The growth of it currently, like infrastructure behind it, is lagging. And another issue, also agree, like, you know, lots of these tools were released to open source, and which accelerated the growth and advancements, but it also introduced some challenges because open sourced AI is not yet properly available for commercial use. So it's available for research purposes, but you cannot use it for commercial purposes, and you have to be really careful not to violate these licenses. And that's becoming an issue, and whole open source community is now going into direction, okay, how to make at least something commercialized properly. So that's a legal aspect which is important, and many companies overlook at it. And another issue, I think, in the education area, it's about like having readily to use high quality training materials, how to use these tools, how to understand the limitations, what are the best practices, and so on. Right now they are quite sparse, lots of, you know, blog articles and so on, and there is lack of structure in this area, and I think yeah, it's a probably nice segue to the next topic. So I will park my speech.
Great. So you bring up a very interesting part of this conversation. I mean, an average person listening to the experts here talk today about AI would really understand that a lot of work, practically and theoretically, has been put into your use of AI and your ability, of course, to evangelize and speak to it. But if we maybe backtrack a bit to the first recommendations or maybe even concerns that Tania gave as she opened this discussion in terms of learning and development. Now you find that things around user adoption, of course, of AI, starts with basically, like Oleg said, how to use AI tools, what to learn, what not to learn, how do you know you're learning, etc. I mean, those are the building blocks of a fantastic AI expert or AI evangelist. So that's from my own point as a learning and development professional. User adoption remains a key critical aspect of how you're able to conveniently and comfortably use AI tools. But let me throw the question open to Yulia. In terms of skills, the foundation skills and competencies for the average person on this call or webinar, what skills or competencies do you think could be most valuable for professionals who want to thrive in, you know, an AI-driven work environment such as we have in Symphony?
I will go with my status quo, like day-to-day mantra. Yes, that still AI is a tool. Maybe one day it will become an independent thinking, whatever, something. Yes, but since this is the tool, to me, the critical thing is for us not to lose domain expertise, not to rely on the tools, and to improve every day as experts, yes, in our domain, in the neighboring domains. And this still remains relevant, yes, because AI as a tool, it cannot think instead of us at this point of time. Yes, maybe we have some prompt engineers or like AI gurus, yes, here, so prove me wrong, but at this point of time, it cannot think instead of us. It is not the domain expert in a way, like, for example, take HR. Maybe one day we'll have like AI HR, yes, that will substitute all HR function in the organization, will scan, analyze all the people coming into the organization. And I'm personally scared of this moment, but ready to embrace the challenge one day, of course. And but then the question arises, will it give the empathy? Will it have the understanding of the subtle context around the situation? And the major question, and we can all reflect it from our personal experiences, is always a rational, data-driven decision the best one in the long term? Yes. If we always rely on data, analyze the data, and drive decisions on this, it might not work out in the long perspective. And also, as I was thinking about it, yeah, the competencies, of course, digital literacy would be number one. But then I was thinking about the new job roles, yes, and I was even fantasizing a bit about it. So obviously we have prompt engineers that would cost a fortune, yes, to hire, because this is so new. I was thinking about, of course, Chief AI Officer as the new emerging role. But then I was, even giggling to myself, thinking we need to have like a bias remover specialist, hallucination specialist. And you remember the times when we had like happiness managers introduced, and that was fun. Yes. So like, what is this one about? But then we've come to embrace it. Google embraced it. Yes. So why not? Yes. Maybe in a couple of months, we will see all these new exciting roles, and they would mean a lot, because like Oleg is saying, we need to train the model to work against the bias. Yes. We need to learn to deal with these hallucinations. So that's my viewpoint on this. So practice your domain expertise, get better every day. And digital literacy, of course, follow the trends, apply, test, and make your critical conclusions about it.
Thank you so much, Yulia. That was really well said. Incidentally, everyone, Yulia is my line manager here at Symphony. And I mean, this is the treasure I get to glean every day working with her. It's amazing, such wisdom, and experience that she has to offer on a daily basis. Thank you, Yulia.
Thank you,
Oleg, you're welcome. The next question is over to you. I mean, again, as a core part of the AI learning program or learning project we are undertaking here in Symphony, I wanted to ask you what steps you think organizations similar to Symphony can take to, upskill and reskill their workforce to embrace AI technologies and adapt to the changing demands of the future of work.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the question. It's actually one of the topics I'm actively working on right now with your help as well. Thanks for that. I think what's important is to make sure to establish appropriate standards, right, and make sure that people are educated to the kind of most useful sources of information, and not only just kind of do it once, but integrate it into our whole personal development or onboarding processes. So it should not be just one thing. Okay, let's use this tool, do a training, and forget about it. I think what's important is to make it as a skill, right? So it's a new skill which you have to actually hard skill or soft skill? Good question. I think both, to be honest. Which you need to have training on. You need to learn. You can improve, and it can become part of your kind of PDP plan. It can become part of onboarding program, and to fully embrace it and make sure that it applied continuously, right? So it's not static, it should be also evolving, right? Because again, new tools, technologies appear every month, like, I don't know, dozens of them. And existing tools, which are produced by giants like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, and so on, they are also adopting quite quickly and actually making things possible which were not possible before. And I think it's very important to integrate this as a kind of regular skill, you can call, but okay, now can you use AI tool and use it rightly and according to the level like of a senior developer or a junior developer, probably it would be different use cases how you can use the tool. Like as an architect, which I have to play this role on some projects, I can use this tool to generate architectural diagrams, right? But would I expect it to teach the skill junior developer? Perhaps it would be quite hard to achieve. So again, it should be adjusted to the roles and seniority of the people. The more senior you are, more advanced use you can apply and learn how to use these tools and do your work even more and more efficiently. I think what I quite like and about the generative AI tools is like, let's not forget the better, higher quality input you will make, the prompt or whatever other ways of doing it, the better quality you will get outside, like gold in, gold out. So higher quality of the information, what do you want to achieve, you can provide, will make your work even more efficient. So I think like clearly having ability to clearly formulate instructions in a written form, what you actually want and need, is crucial. As well as like surprisingly, but again, most of the tools are English focused, so your fluency in English is also super important nowadays.
Thank you so much, Oleg. I hear you say, ageless skills such as critical thinking, innovation, problem solving is still a very large part of how you are able to, advance your use of AI. Of course, again, you mentioned English and the use of English. That's pretty interesting to me. Maybe not a question today, but something I would really like to reflect on, especially because, again, the world is composed of many English speakers, but not all of us really are the best speakers of English. So that, again, creates a limitation, right, in terms of development of AI tools and its bias for the English language. Again, here are the concerns, here are the limitations, just like Yulia was mentioning. Okay, if we have questions, people, we could send it to the YouTube channel or to, of course, the Zoom channel here on our webinar. As we move on to the question and answer segment, we have a very interesting question here, and I would like every one of the participants here, to actively take part. I'll give you maybe 40 seconds to think about it. It's a pretty interesting question. If you could create an AI-powered gadget or device or program to improve your daily life, what will it be and what will it do? I think it's a very interesting icebreaker. It's a question I would have thought of and put at the beginning of the session, but there we go. So who do I choose first? Why don't I have Tania go, Director of Virtual Community?
Oh, that's a really cool question. I need to think more about this, actually, because like the first thing that is popping up in my mind, that something that can help me drive and lead all these communities, to have all the data from different perspectives, to have tools that would work with Microsoft or we were engaged, all the things I like to make me productive. But another thing that thought that I have in mind, that I would need to think about something personal, to somehow, or to have it in my personal life and to make it easier. We have a lot of right now this smart houses, but something that would help me to clean, like to do all this routine stuff, as Yulia were mentioning. And but I need more to think about this. I actually wanted, still I have the microphone. I wanted to add to the previous question regarding skills that are important. And to the whole thing that guys mentioned, I think it's also important to add communication skills and interpersonal skills, because right now there are more this AI tools, automation, but our communication, storytelling, and presentation skills, they're right now become more and more valuable. And the better you can provide all this information and that you work with, the better you are in the market.
Interesting. The more you can provide information, the more you can communicate well, the better you are in the market. It's interesting to see again how some of these skills that we've been taught and we need to apply ourselves definitely on our job are not going anywhere. If anything, you just need to improve on them to be able to use AI effectively. Thank you so much, Tania. Okay, so I move on to Yulia. If there is one gadget, and trust me, guys, Yulia always blows you away with an answer.
Okay, yeah. I can go with these quick answers. Yeah. Okay, but first of all, I need to praise the person asking this question. I don't see who it is, but then that's a very smart move, yeah, because all the startups, they would address specific needs of the customer, of the client, yeah. So knowing I'm acting like one now, you know what? My biggest dream is knowing how it functions at Symphony, and that's the bragging time for Symphony Solutions and all of the support teams, yes, how they support the process, etc. I'm dreaming of having sort of, onboarding specialist at home. So when I'm moving to another country, the person will like, Yulia, do you want me to register you there, to find you a doctor there? And of course, I can advise you how to register in a bank, blah, 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 blah. And the best school would be there. So do you want me to do this? Like I'm dreaming of this AI personal assistant, but kind of anticipating my needs. It's not like, yeah, so I would just probably be a prompt person there, like, so I moved to this country. So what do I do? Yes. And she calls, or he, yes, depending, of course. Yes. So this artificial intelligence calls, arranges, adjusts. So if that comes possible one day, it's both exciting and scary at the same time. But thank you for the wonderful question.
Thank you so much too, Yulia. Over to you, Oleg. If there is an AI-powered gadget, what will it be for you?
Okay. There are like two answers probably. Like one was fun one. One meme picture struck me quite a bit. Like this huge banner on the building. Hey, ChatGPT, finish this building. So that would be awesome if there will be a device like that. But okay, that's a fun part.
Oleg,
of it.
But do you know that not ChatGPT, but AI responded? So with this 3D printing, whatever, so they gave a response on the other billboard, standing right next to it.
Yeah, so that's a fun part of it. So applying it in a more kind of hardcore, like not hardcore, but like real concrete life setting would be interesting because right now it's more like software, but when it will go into kind of more real life things, but I can't imagine it right now happening. Of course, like this potentially kind of care assistants would become much more possible, and I think like that's a good direction where it can move. But like for me personally, what would be nice to have, and we were having these jokes in the team as well periodically, is to have ability to clone someone. Just kind of, okay, take my emails, take my chat history, take my whatever you know about me, and be my clone and act on my behalf. That would be an interesting one. And I know that it's kind of actually such projects are right now work in progress. So that's something which kind of AI assistants or avatars kind of, that would be probably one of the next moves.
Oleg, then we need to ask whether it's you sitting in front of us already, not you.
That's a record.
Yeah. And on a lighter note, maybe I push this question again back to Yulia. If indeed we had clones and the ability to clone people and their job in the workplace, how does that affect our vacation time? Do I get to have any vacations? Again, I could just have a clone sitting for me when I go to Belgium.
I think I can answer during our one-to-one tomorrow.
Great answer. Okay, we have another question here. If you could design an AI assistant to have a unique personality trait, what would it be and how would it manifest in its behavior? Who do I give this question to? Okay, Oleg. What do you think about this question? You design an AI assistant to have a unique personality trait. What would it be and how would it manifest in its behavior?
Yeah, so emotional part is always interesting because right now it's uh, hmm, I mean, unique personality trait. You know, we have learned that it can be common, but yeah, like let me find the proper word. I think like empathy. That's the kind of most important.
Empathy. Right. Would that be all? Do you still have any additions to it? I don't want to give it to the people specialists here, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to give it to you to see. And of course, again, you corroborated the same things that Yulia said earlier on in the call in terms of empathy, in terms of emotional intelligence. These are things that AI, we are not really sure in the nearest future is still able to achieve. Now let me go down to Yulia to ask this question. Do you think artificial intelligence has the potential to make a real revolution? I mean, I've heard you say that. If you ask me, I think I assume that you think so. But again, this question concretely now, if yes, what is a possible role for Symphony Solutions? So in the bucket of AI making a revolution, how prepared or how positioned are we at Symphony Solutions? I'm sure this is someone that's trying to recheck again our stance and our direction in Symphony regarding AI. If indeed it's going to make a revolution, where do you think Symphony will play in the near future in AI conversation?
Yeah, but I cannot resist and supplement Oleg in his answer to the previous question. Yeah, so if I were to design my AI tool, of course, I will endow it, you know, like a fairy with a great sense of humor. Because currently the level of jokes AI produces, you know, when you have this application called Annie or ChatGPT, it produces the jokes like, yeah, you think it's funny, yeah. So so that would be the manifestation. I really want for AI to try and make us laugh, yes. But addressing the artificial intelligence potential here at Symphony Solutions, knowing how quickly we are embracing all of the things and the investment from company perspective, I think we are likely to witness, you know, the revolution, yes. But like I was saying in the beginning, it has to be a responsible revolution, yeah, that we don't jump into all the tools, you know, and manifest ourselves as early adopters, and we are irresponsible with data, with, you know, information we feed into it, etc. So yes, it's going to be a revolution, but a responsible one. And like I was mentioning, what is the possible role? I will just repeat my creations. Maybe one day we'll see these roles like hallucinations expert, bias remover, chief artificial intelligence officer, you name it. Yeah, so that would be my response.
Thank you so much, Yulia. As we draw this to a close, I would like to take a final comment from Tania.
Regarding revolution? Yeah.
I mean, on anything. That's the final comment.
Yeah, I believe that AI will do some revolution, and it's actually doing it right now. And if you're talking about what parts the Symphony will take, I believe we would be leading this revolution also, at least doing our best, yeah, to be on the top there. And what else I want to say that I'm saying to myself every day, be curious and try to use everything that you can to make your life easier, to make your life more interesting, and to get more and more cool facts to your life. Yeah, and AI actually doing this.
Thank you so much, Tania. I really want to say a big thank you to Tania, to Yulia, to Oleg. As we draw this conversation, this webinar to a close, we discussed how AI is currently transforming the workplace, of course, the potentials that AI has for advancements in the future. We also moved into how AI specifically can be applied in terms of a Symphony-driven context at work. We also discussed the main opportunities, of course, and the challenges when integrating AI technologies into various industries and job roles. We went on again to discuss the skills, the competencies that we believe is the most valuable as professionals as we move into an AI-driven work environment. And of course, again, in terms of the steps an organization can take, just being like Symphony to upskill and reskill their workforce. How do you embrace AI technologies using the upskilling and reskilling method, adapting to the changing demands of the future of work. We want to thank everyone, for attending. We want to, keep encouraging everyone to explore, the opportunities here at Symphony Solutions. Again, as Symphonians, we also want to ask that you incorporate into your daily work as much as possible and leverage the power of AI-driven technologies in creating the workplace of tomorrow. Now, I hope we all can join us on this journey of empowerment and uncovering our potential with AI as a trusted companion. The keyword there is trusted. We are creating the future today. And so that's it for tonight, guys. We want to thank, again, our fantastic speakers and all the viewers all over the world for joining online and actively participating in the chat. Follow us for more events like this with Chi Community and Symphony Solutions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share. Also, you can follow us on our social media, and all the links, of course, are available in the description. This way, you will always get to know what's going on and have the latest of tech insights delivered to your feed daily. Right now, I dare you to leave a comment and share with us your own experience. How are you using AI today to change the future? From all of us here at Symphony Solutions, we want to say ciao, see you around the corner, take care, and of course, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, bye.
Thank
Guys,
you.
bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.